welcome. Phew.
Oh,
Phew.
God, sorry we're a few minutes late, guys.
Girl, we've been busy, haven't we? To be
We
honest.
have. We've been doing the figure adventures.
We've been doing the figure adventures. We've been watching some adventures so that we could talk about them today on the show.
Yes.
And we've been watching The Simpsons.
We've been doing a lot of things.
We have. I'm D Cool, by the way.
And I'm Liz Mean.
And this is
our Doctor Who Time and Space, our weekly father and son Doctor Who podcast, and this is episode 143.
It is. And I tell you what, we're the greatest father and son combination in the universe.
I believe we are.
How many other fathers and sons?
Definitely in the constellation of Castabras.
How many others do podcasts and figure adventures together? That's how great we are.
I know.
So what do we have in our greatness this week?
Well, we are going to be sitting down and looking back at John Nathan Turner's period as showrunner in our Doctor Through the Decades this time.
Ooh. We'll also be
the 1980s.
We'll be having a bit of a discussion around the Tom Baker episode, Robots of Death.
Yes, which continues our journey into trying to watch every single episode
ever.
Doctor Who. Ever. We've got another round of. We get to press the randomizer again. We've
got the legendary game Who to Face,
and we have some big news.
Big news indeed. Do you want to kick off with the big news?
Yes, I'll just load it first.
We've been waiting for this big news. We had a feeling that it would be coming. Well, we knew it'd come at some point. We had a feeling it may be imminent-ish.
So
it's happened.
Those who are listening probably know about this because it's been very big everywhere. If you're a Who fan, or probably most people in this country would have heard.
Yeah. What is the big news?
So, Moffat is leaving Doctor Who after Series 10.
Steven, no!
Steven Moffat will step down as the show's lead writer and executive producer following Series 10, which will air in spring 2017. Chris Chibnall, writer of Doctor Who episodes 42, The Hungry Earth, Cold Blood, Dinosaurs on the Spaceship, and Para 3, will take over with Series 11 in 2018. The only Doctor Who to air in 2016 will be the Christmas special and spin-off Class.
Okay. So there's three things really, I think, isn't there? Three big chunks that we probably need to digest and talk about.
Yes.
Firstly, well, if we identify the three, first of all, we got Steven Moffat leaving.
Yes.
We've got No Who in 2016.
No.
Other than the Christmas special. And we've got, finally, Chris Chibnall taking over as the showrunner.
Well,
should we take them one by one?
What should we talk about first?
Let's start with Steven Moffat then, shall we?
Well, we knew this was going to come.
Yeah.
We knew it. And I'm just saying he's done a very big run. He's done so much. He's introduced 2 doctors, 2 companions, possibly 3 by the beginning of next year.
And there's every chance, we don't know this, we're just surmising, there's every chance he'll be introducing a 3rd doctor to us.
Yeah.
In that period. Who knows? Because we've talked before, haven't we, that there's that question mark as to whether Capaldi will continue after the season. Because
I don't know. I love Peter Capaldi as the Doctor, but I don't know. So Steve Moffat has introduced River Song, Missy, Weeping Angels, loads of different popular characters and monsters, the Silence, lots of things. And he's been very clever with his writing. But I suppose every showrunner has to leave.
They do.
Even John Nathan Turner.
Exactly. We'll get on to that a bit later on. What do you think we'll remember Moffat most fondly for in terms of his time at Who?
I think we will remember him most fondly for the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
I suppose I said 2 Doctors. I suppose he has written 3 because of John Hurt.
That's true. Yep.
Nobody else has written John Hurt.
And David Tennant.
Yeah, but that's not introducing.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Like properly.
Yeah. In fact, he's probably the only person that's actually written for 13 Doctors.
Why?
Because all of them were in the Day of the Doctor a bit, weren't they?
Name the Doctor.
I was thinking of the bit when they're all flying around Gallifrey. Near the end. When
I was thinking of Name the Doctor when all the Doctors are in it at the beginning.
Yeah, true. Could be either. Yeah. But yeah, he has it in effect written for them all. As we know, the sort of, there's a sort of split audience, I think, isn't it? I think more people like Moffat's run than don't, but there is a very big contingent of people that, for whatever reason, don't like it.
I think there are going to be some people very happy that the second stage of the master plan has ended. Clara and Moffat, because some people hate both of them. Yeah. So
I was saying to you earlier on, wasn't it? I was having a joke, and I said that I reckon the last episode that Steven Moffat writes, every character that's died ever in his run will come back to life again.
That sounds like a Moffat plot.
It does, yeah. Maybe it will. I mean, what Moffat could do, just to make it really awkward for Chris Chibnall, is to, at the end of his last episode, have the Doctor regenerate into a cat or something like that. Yeah, so where are you going to go with that one then? The next show one, huh?
Or the Doctor dies right at the end.
That's right, yeah.
Well, that's happened many times.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting. Molly, what's your thoughts? Do you think that Capaldi would go at the same time or not?
I'm thinking yay. No, not yay. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love Peter Capaldi.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll stay for season 11. I don't know, because at the moment Doctors seem to stay for 4 years. Yeah. And that's 2014 to 17.
Yeah, I mean, it would be about the right time if he follows the path of Matt Smith and David Tennant, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It depends whether he has got his eyes on breaking Tom Baker's record, doesn't it? Which would be some record to break, obviously.
Yeah.
I think if they were keeping up with doing a series a year, I think we probably would see this being Peter Capaldi's last season.
Yeah.
Because of the pressure it puts on, because he wants to do other things as well. Maybe, actually, in terms of him having this break, this longer period of time before they start filming again, maybe that will change things a little bit. I mean, I know it's only going to be about half a year's difference, isn't it? If that. But maybe that will give him enough time to be able to get away, do something different, come back and
be refreshed
and not regenerated. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe though, with Chris Chibnall. Let's discuss Chris Chibnall.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Chibnall, maybe, who's going to take over. Maybe what's going to happen is he's going to be like Steven Moffat and introduce a completely new setting, like a completely new episode with like a new Doctor, new companion, new showrunner, new everything. Like the 11th Hour was a very fresh start.
There is a chance of that, isn't it? I think I don't know that much about Chris Chibnall because I've not watched Broadchurch. I mean, obviously, a lot of people really ranked that very, very highly.
Definitely the first series. I think the second series wasn't meant to be as good.
Okay. He also did a lot of writing for Torchwood, I think.
Yes, he did.
I think I saw that he did Life on Mars, but I'm not 100% sure. But all of those have been very highly rated.
Yes.
So I've just got a feeling, and this might be completely ill-founded, but I've got a feeling that perhaps the show will take a different path from the dark sort of feel that we've had. Certainly, I mean, even probably throughout Moffat's era, it's been darker, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And even if you look in Russell T Davies's era, the Moffat penned stories have been some of the darkest ones.
Yeah.
So I think he's got that sort of side to him. I think we will see a far lighter tone. I mean, it might be completely unfounded.
Yeah, I think maybe this is a turn for the best because this will get a load of new fans, like I think probably 11th Hour did.
Yeah.
But then they went away in Series 9 because lots of young fans didn't like Series 9 because of the tone it went in. I don't think they did. I don't think they would have done.
I think I've got a feeling they will go for a complete reboot.
Yeah.
So it'll have a new showrunner, a new companion, a new doctor. I think it'll go for a new tone.
Yeah. I think it'll be a new everything.
Yeah.
I think Chris Chibnall will introduce a fresh start to Doctor Who.
Well, can we perhaps this time just to think about Chris Chibnall a little bit and think about his contribution to Who?
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned a number of episodes just a minute ago that he'd written.
Yeah.
I'm just really trying to remember what
42,
they were.
Hungry Earth, Cold Blood, which we watched on the randomizer a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
You can see our thoughts on episode 141, White Mist in the Darkness. No, it's actually 140, Who Year's Resolutions.
Okay.
And he also wrote Dinosaurs on the Spaceship and Para 3.
Okay, so if we think about those, I mean, you reminded me, I wouldn't have remembered this, but you reminded me earlier that when we were reviewing the Silurian episode a few weeks ago, we commented that this was the sort of direction we'd like to see Who going in again.
You did say that, yeah.
And I say not because we don't like the new stuff, because I love the new stuff. I don't think this show's been, I think it's the strongest period of new Who that we've had. But I think for the sake of the longevity of the show, I think things like the sort of action, the pace that we had with that Silurian episode is probably what we want to see moving forward. And maybe
in Chris Chibnall's run, and he is the writer, so
So what do you make of the other stories that we had? So we really enjoyed that one we watched in the randomizer. I know we were not so keen on Dinosaurs in the Spaceship.
No, I'm not very keen on that one. I never have been really since it first aired.
Yeah, there's bits I like about it.
Para 3's quite fun.
Yeah, I like Power 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit different.
I like that.
42.
42.
Have I seen that one?
That's the one on the
the one with
the sun. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that one. That's
good. That is a good one.
Bit different. What was the Hungry Earth? Which one's that?
The Silurian one.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course it was. Yeah. So I was thinking of I was getting rid of it with that and Satan Pit. Yeah. Which wasn't him.
No, that wasn't.
So he's done the 4 then, basically.
Yes, he has the 4 stories.
So what would we say? We'd say gold star for the Silurian one.
Yeah.
Maybe silver star for the other 2, 42 and
Dinosaurs
and Power of 3.
Yeah, bronze star for Dinosaurs on the Spaceship. Yeah.
It was a good fun one, Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs on the Spaceship was a very action-packed, adventurous one.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably, I think the problem with Dinosaurs, as with a lot of that series, I know it became a bit of a running joke, really, didn't it, when we were talking about that series? But it just felt like there was too much crammed into a short.
Oh, yeah, it did go on to an ongoing joke. That we kept talking about. But that wouldn't be available on YouTube.
No, I think it predates that, doesn't it?
Maybe a hide review. Yeah. But
actually, maybe what we should do, and I'm thinking aloud here, but maybe at some point we should take the interview aspects, sorry, not the interview, the review aspects out of them and put together a review bit of some of these episodes into a single video file and upload it.
Yeah.
So that people can listen to some of the reviews of these old ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't need the whole of the show, just these bits.
Because some people might tune out, like, after the news, or they might skip forward to the Doctor Through the Decades bit and then stop listening to it.
So, yeah, good
or
stuff.
They might be listening to live to Who to Face or something.
Now, see, there is another really big bit of news in there, wasn't there?
Yes.
We touched on very briefly, but it's probably right for us to move to that now, which is shock horror. No Who in 2016, other than the Christmas episode. So we're effectively
and class.
So we're effectively got a Doctor Who wilderness year.
I know.
Haven't we?
I know.
So it'd be the longest run without a episode.
And next year it starts in spring. When do you think that would be? Very early spring, March?
I would think early, yeah.
I think I've heard they're starting filming in April.
Okay.
So
what's your thoughts on this? I mean, we didn't necessarily expect it. Well, I think initially we did expect it, actually, didn't we?
we did. But then we thought they've said at least it's going to be 13 episodes, series 10.
Yeah.
They never said when it would air, but I thought maybe it would go on right at the end of 2016 and then go through to 2017.
That's what I thought would happen. Maybe to a certain extent, perhaps some of it is as a result of the cuts at the BBC and the reduction in funding. Maybe the BBC have also thought that because the viewing figures have dropped a bit, maybe they figured, well, let's give it a little bit of a break and build up some enthusiasm again. I know at the moment I'm talking about Bowie a lot, but there's something that Bowie did, which was to disappear from the public eye for quite a number of years and then come back, and all of a sudden his ratings just shot back up.
When was that? When?
This was it was about 10 years actually he was away for.
When was it that he came back?
He came back, what year are we now? About 4 years ago.
Was it? Oh yeah, wasn't it with Where Are We Now and everything?
That's it. And no one was expecting it, and suddenly it came back. And there was all this, it was like the Messiah's return sort of thing. Whereas if you'd gone back to his last few albums before then, it didn't have that same level of excitement. And perhaps we don't want Who to go for 10 years, but maybe having a year break might actually add to the enthusiasm of people for the show again.
Yeah,
might boost it. And to be fair, it's only a few months later, isn't it?
Yeah.
5-6 months. Only a few.
Only a few.
You look at how quickly the last series came in the end.
Yeah, it did come very quickly.
So with that in mind, what does that mean for this podcast? Does that mean that the podcast ends?
No, the podcast would never end.
I mean, in reality, we've got things like the randomizer. It just means we'll be talking a lot about older episodes, won't we?
So maybe get lots of classic Who DVDs, and if you really enjoy listening to the podcast and really love Doctor Who, then get some classic DVDs, watch them whilst we're discussing them on the week if you want, and then maybe you could even send your thoughts in the comments, and we could read them out.
We'd love to get a little bit more interactive stuff going on this podcast, wouldn't we?
Yes, we would.
If anyone wants to leave any comments and things, we'd always love to hear from you. Okay, so that was big news, wasn't it?
It was big
and
news.
And it broke last night. So we're fairly hot off the press with this, isn't it? Because usually all the news seems to happen just after we've done our podcast.
It's Sunday.
Yeah, that's right. So that's hot. It's fairly hot off the press, that stuff.
Yes, it is.
I think both of us would be sad to see Moffat go.
We will.
But at the same point, probably also quite excited about a fresh start and a chance to really reinvigorate the show. So what other news do we have this week? It all pales into comparison.
Season 9 wins Golden Tomato Award.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Usually I associate tomatoes with being bad.
Golden, it says.
There's a golden one.
Doctor Who Series 9 has been voted the best reviewed sci-fi TV sci-fi fantasy horror series of 2015 on the review site Rotten Tomatoes. The annual Golden Tomato Awards are awarded to the series with the highest ratings based on reviews submitted to the site. The 2015 series scored an average rating of 4.5 out of 5 and received a remarkable 100% positive rating from approved critics. The series beat Game of Thrones Series 5, which came second. Marvel's Daredevil came third, with Ash vs. Evil Dead and Hannibal taking 4th and 5th places respectively.
When you look at it like that, I mean, that's quite a feat, really, because I haven't seen the last two in that list, but obviously I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. Daredevil, I've just started watching recently, and it's really, really good as well.
Is it not as gripping as Jessica Jones?
I haven't seen enough of it yet. Most people think it's better.
Is it good in a different way?
Yes, it's a bit more actiony than Jessica Jones, but it's still very different than your average superhero movie fare.
Yeah.
So
So Doctor Who Series 9 was also voted as 4th in the Best Returning TV Shows category, with Fargo Series 2 taking top spot.
okay. So well done everyone there at Who Central.
So sadly this week, National Television Awards.
Yeah.
Doctor Who didn't win drama.
I know. I don't think it was ever going to be fair.
No.
Because it was won by
Downton Abbey.
And with Downton Abbey having its last episode, I think it was always likely it would run away with that award.
Yeah.
I think what's more criminal is the fact that Capaldi and Coleman aren't up there for Best Actor and Actress. I can't fathom that, because both of them really good, but Capaldi in particular was just astounding, I think.
Rachel Tallahay, though, has said that Doctor Who should win awards. So Doctor Who director Rachel Tallahay has been talking about the series and how it is perceived by the TV series. She says, historically, the BAFTA voters have a love for bonnets and bustles. Doctor Who seems like an obvious skip over. Yeah, sure, Peter Capaldi is a great actor, but who cares about that kids show? And it's sci-fi, not real drama, and it'll be around forever, and we need to support new and fresh. The director disputes the implication that Doctor Who's long history means it is not new and fresh. So, spend 5 minutes watching the incredible anti-war speech delivered by Peter Capaldi in Zygon Inversion, or a few more minutes watching Jenna Coleman's emotional, powerful goodbye in Face the Raven. You don't need to know these characters' history to appreciate the tremendous work here. And Rachel Tallahay directed the final 2 episodes of both Season 8 and Series 9, including the one-man episode Heaven Sent, where Peter Capaldi performed solo for the majority of the story. It is an absolute acting tour de force. All Doctor, all the time. And it demands to be seen before the voters turn to the obvious dramas.
I think the thing is as well, if you look at that, even those people that really didn't like Hal Bent, and there was a lot, wasn't there?
Yeah, there were.
Critically, I think it was really acclaimed, but there was a lot of punters that didn't like it. But visually, it was still stunning, wasn't it? And I think even those that didn't like the story really liked the approach that Rachel Tallahay had taken with her direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's interesting. Let's hope it does get some awards, because it certainly deserves some.
Hopefully it does.
So do we have any other news?
No, I don't think we do.
I can think of one.
What?
A happy birthday.
Who to?
John Hurt.
That was yesterday.
Yeah. We're not going to mention that today then.
Well, this week we had happy birthdays to... Oh, do we need to do birthdays today?
You can do if you want to, yeah. Happy birthday, John, anyway, for yesterday.
And happy birthday, Tom Baker, for a couple of days ago.
That's true, yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah. Yeah. 2 of my favourite doctors in the same week.
So the Romans All Roads Lead to Rome, aired this time in 1965, watched by 11.5 million viewers.
Excellent.
Terror of the Autons episode 4 aired in 1971 with 8.4 million viewers. And Torchwood Sleeper was out in 2008, watched by 3.78 million viewers. So, Shaheen Jafaka is 19 today. 2 credits, including Child in Stolen Earth Journey's End. Sunita Henry is 39 today, credited as Colonel Meme in Time of the Doctor. Richard Gillard is 66 today, credited as Congressman in Mongental?
What's that?
Mongental.
Right, okay.
In Dead of the Night.
Oh, right,
Dead of Night. Torchwood. Brian Croucher is 74 today, credited as Borg in Robots of Death.
Okay.
John Caesar would be 90 today, including extra in Dalek's Master Plan. Stephen Scott would be 96 today, credited as Keeble in Power of the Daleks. And Bart Allison would be 115 today, credited as Maximus Petulian in the Romans.
Okay. Oh, okay. So, happy birthday, ye all.
You
And,
yes?
That's probably us done with the news, is it not?
It is, yes.
Probably about time for us to move on to our next
Because there's
slice.
big news this week.
It was big news.
Big news.
We always knew we'd be talking a bit about that, didn't we?
Yes.
So what's the next
we talked
section?
20 minutes about it.
Yeah.
It's Doctor Through the Decades.
Doctor Through the Decades. Do you want to start by giving a quick, brief explanation as to what it all means?
So,
uneducated.
Doctor Through the Decades is our look back through the periods,
The decades.
the decades of Doctor Who, and we're going to discuss them using a number of questions. Then at the end of this, we will rank them all.
Okay.
We will compare each of the periods. Today we are discussing the 1980s.
Wah, wah. So what does the 1980s span?
So that spans from all of the John Nathan Turner period.
Okay.
So I'll just do a. Should I do a little?
Do your usual little run through the times.
So starting off was The Leisure Hive, a story which entered the 1980s, and it was clear it was a 1980s episode, starring Tom Baker and Layla Ward as like the previous series, but in the 1970s, which was but this time John Nathan Turner was the head. So then Romana left in story Warrior's Gate in 1981, a couple of stories after Adric, played by Matthew Waterhouse's first episode. Romana's farewell also saw the farewell of K9 for the first proper time in Classic Who. Last proper time in Classic Who. Then later on, Keeper Trakan saw Nyssa come into it for the first time, and Logopolis saw Tegan come into it the first time, as well as saying farewell to the Fourth Doctor. We also, in these two stories, said hello to a new master played by Anthony Ainley, who took over from Geoffrey Beevers and Roger Delgado. Then Peter Davidson took over the role as the Doctor with Tegan, Nyssa and Adric, a very crowded TARDIS. He had many adventures, include his most notable including Earthshock and Case of Androzani. In Earthshock, we saw the first proper death of a companion, which was the death of Adric.
First and only, probably. Really.
Probably, really, yeah. Then we've got in Terminus, Nyssa left, and in Resurrection of the Daleks, Tegan left. In Mordred Undead, we saw the first story with Turlo, and in Planet of Fire, Tegan. Perry. Then the next notable moment was Pete Davidson regenerating into Colin Baker, a more aggressive and angry role as the Sixth Doctor. That his most notable stories were probably, there's not very many acclaimed ones. No, Two Doctors and Trial of a Time Lord. Yeah, I'm just going to say those two. He had in his tenure, he had the longest ever story, Trial of a Time Lord, which said farewell to both the Sixth Doctor, and Perry, and said hello to new companion Mel, played by Bonnie Lambert. Ugh. And then we had had Sylvester McCoy come into the role as the Doctor, as the Seventh Doctor, who became darker every series he was in. He was joined after his first series with Ace, played by Sophie Aldred, and in Survival, it was the last ever story of Classic Who.
What year was that?
1989.
So pretty much spanned the whole of the 80s.
It did, yes.
Okay. So, actually quite a lot happened really in that period of time,
It
didn't it?
did,
So we actually
yeah.
had 4 Doctors in that. That's the most amount of Doctors we've ever had in a 10-year span, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
4.
4 Doctors.
God.
Okay. And that whole period was all John Nathan Turner, was it?
All of it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, how do you want to kick this off, this discussion?
So we kick it off. Should we do our questions?
Yeah.
So, what was your favourite Doctor?
Okay. Difficult one, this, because Tom Baker's still there.
Yeah.
Albeit that it's probably a weaker era of Tom Baker.
Yeah.
Probably the weakest sort of series he's in, but it's still Tom Baker, so I've still got to go for him.
I think so.
I still prefer Tom Baker than. I mean, if I was to think through each of the Doctors, I actually like all of them in their own way. Peter Davidson.
He's a bit boring.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think he's. I think the stories are. I think actually, and Peter, if you're listening, don't take this the wrong way, but he's probably one of my least favourite Doctors, just because he's not got much character. I think I prefer Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy as Doctors, but probably prefer Peter Davidson's stories.
Yeah.
So what do you think to that? Is that a bit controversial or not?
Well, I like Peter Davidson.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good Doctor. It's just he's a bit boring.
Yeah,
unoriginal.
He doesn't necessarily feel as Doctor-like, as alien, perhaps, as the other incarnations. I think that's what it is. He's probably the least alien Doctor that we've had.
Maybe, yeah.
That's how it feels to me, anyway. What's your thoughts? Is it still Tom Baker?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Tom Baker. He's a classic Doctor. Mm-hmm. Probably the most classic Doctor you could ever have.
Mm. Okay.
So, best episode. Should I go first? Or?
Yep.
Well, there are many. Should I pick one of each Doctor?
Yeah, I think I know what mine is overall.
Mine overall probably has to be Case of Androzani.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Go for one from each.
So, 4th Doctor, probably Logopolis.
Yeah, I agree.
5th Doctor, Case of Androzani. Mm-hmm. 6th Doctor, Trial of a Time Lord, The Ultimate Foe.
I haven't seen that.
And 7th Doctor, Curse of Fenric.
Okay, I've not seen that either. In fact, there's a lot of the 80s stuff that I haven't seen. I may have seen. I've probably seen a lot of the Colin Baker ones and certainly Peter Davidson.
There are only a few with Colin Baker.
The Sylvester McCoy ones, by that time when I was growing up, I was just completely bored of the series and I didn't really have any.
And I get why, because it wasn't your fault. It was just the show was heading into a really childish. Yeah. You were, like you said before, you were heading in the opposite direction as Doctor Who was heading.
Yeah, I was sort of growing up, and the series seemed to be getting more childish.
Yeah.
And
if it carried on, probably in 1998, would have been like, I am Popsy Fairy, the Doctor. I like to
You sound like the little dwarfs in Wizard of Oz then. What do you? It's a question for you then. Do you think if it hadn't have had that first series with Sylvester McCoy, if it had skipped that first series and had gone in at series 2, which was starting to get a slightly darker edge to it, do you think the show would have been cancelled still?
I think it needed to be cancelled.
Yeah.
The show needed to be cancelled.
Because
But I don't know. I think season 24 of Doctor Who which was the first one, with Thingy in, was possibly the worst episode of Doctor Who we've ever had.
I think without a doubt.
Series, yeah.
I think without a doubt. I think if it hadn't have happened, if they hadn't have cancelled it, regardless, probably the series would have just got worse and worse.
Yeah.
And I know people still look back on it and are angry that it was cancelled, and obviously I don't think it needed to be for such a long period of time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I guess the hopes were, weren't they, that when the movie came out, the Paul McGann movie, that would generate sufficient interest to merit the series coming back. But obviously that wasn't the case, and it took another further 5 years, is it?
Yeah. 9 after that.
9 years after that. So I always forget this because I don't remember it being away as long as it obviously was. So how many years? If you imagine the movie didn't exist, how many years was it from the end of the Sylvester McCoy series to
15 years.
15 years.
Just over 15 years.
Crumbs. So there's children that would have grown up and become adults in that period of time.
Yeah.
With just a movie. And not a particularly good movie at that, to remember it by. That's an astounding beat movie, isn't it?
So, monster. What's your favourite monster?
Favourite monster, and I guess we really got to think of new monsters in that period, haven't we?
Not Candyman.
Yeah, I like some Candyman in a funny sort of way, but it is crap.
Yeah.
Isn't it? But favourite monster.
Remember Sil P-Man?
Yeah. I'm gonna go for Charles Jack.
Oh yeah.
If that counts.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
So.
he's not a monster; he's a villain more than a monster. But I think
he counts.
Essentially he's a baddie, isn't he?
Yeah.
I quite like the ones that are in, the Richard Mace story.
Oh yeah, I quite like the Hemophores as well in Curse of Fenric.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can't think what it's called. Really can't think what it's called.
Damn, its mind's wiped out of my mind. Visitation.
The Visitation, yeah. I quite like the aliens in that.
Yeah, Pterodactyls.
Yeah.
So, companion. Who was your favourite companion of the period? It wasn't the strongest period for companions.
No. I think probably Romana too, if I can count her, even though it's sort of like the beginning of the decade and the tail end of it. If I can't count her, I'd probably say Perry. No, Turlo. I'd say Turlo.
Oh yeah.
I actually really liked Turlo as a.
He was a bit different, yeah. He had a little twist on him.
Yeah, because you weren't sure whether he was good or bad, really, were you?
Yeah, and that was the best thing about him.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think Turlo.
So
I do like Perry though. Yeah.
So the best thing about the decade, what would you have to say?
Best thing about the decade would be I don't think there is a best thing about the decade. To be honest, because I think
worst thing is the whole most of the period.
It's not that I don't like it, and I enjoy watching the Colin Baker ones that we've been watching on the randomizer, the Peter Davidson ones. But I don't know. Like with a lot of things in the 80s, it wasn't great.
No.
And I think
went to a new low.
The reason being, in the old days, in the black and white days, and right through into the 70s, there were limitations in terms of budget. There were limitations in terms of effects. They worked within those limitations. The difference you got in the 80s was that technology was beginning to advance, but it hadn't advanced sufficiently to do everything that they were trying to do.
Yeah.
And it probably looked great at times back then. Now, when you look at it, it just looks really feeble, doesn't it?
Mm.
Because all the laser effects and everything, we just do so much better now.
Yeah.
So worst, excluding the wilderness years, maybe, I think.
Are we doing the wilderness years next week? Or?
We'll talk a little bit about it, I think, can we? It might be that we have a slightly shorter item than this one. But yeah, I think.
What are we going to do next week then?
Let's talk the wilderness years. Or maybe we should combine the wilderness years with the return. What year did it return in again?
2005.
Yeah, maybe we should do the wilderness years and the first 5.
RTD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
So there we have it. What's the slot called? Doctors
Through the Decades.
Yeah. The 80s. The 80s full stop, actually. Regardless of what you're talking about. If you're talking about music in the 80s, there's some great songs. But other than sort of some of the underground music, it was quite naff.
Yeah.
Movies, similarly. The 80s just wasn't really a great decade.
No.
And I think it's just because we were making advances, but we hadn't actually achieved what we needed to. Whereas you look at the last few years, how much technology's moved on.
But a much better period was the 70s.
Mm.
Last week we got another 70s period episode picked out for us.
We did in
With
the randomizer.
Robots of Death. And it's time for our review.
Hey. Okay, so Robots of Death, Tom Baker.
Yep.
Leela as the companion.
Yeah.
Anyone that's listened to this show before knows I have a bit of a sort of lovey-dovey thing going on with Leela. Lovely, my favourite companion of all time. Robots of Death, where do we start? Shall I give a very brief synopsis of it?
Okay.
4-part story.
Classic.
Yeah. Commences with this spacecraft. And basically it's a sort of a money-making mining expedition with crew on board the spacecraft, robots as their sort of
Fox
robots as the sort of slaves, aren't they? Very, very much sort of doing a lot of the jobs around the spacecraft. Slowly but surely, members of the crew start getting bumped off, and it turns into a bit of a sort of a murder mystery type story, really, doesn't it? As to who it is that's doing the killings. We, as the viewers, know early on that it's the rock robots.
Yes.
But what we don't know is why and who's behind it.
And we won't spoil because I'm sure most Whovians would have watched this story, but as there's not much Doctor Who on this year apart from a Christmas special in class, watch it. Get the DVD, find it somewhere or something, and watch it.
Yeah. It's so basically the Doctor and Leela find themselves as suspects, really, don't they, to start with, because they arrive just as the murders start commencing.
Yeah.
And that's probably enough of a synopsis.
It is, yeah.
So, what do you think of it?
Oh, Robots of Death is just a classic. And it did really deserve a repeat viewing for me. I have watched it many of times, but I think I needed to watch it again because I haven't watched it for, 2 years, maybe. And I needed to watch it again, and I needed to rejudge it from before. I loved it before, but I couldn't remember whether it was as good as it should be. I was thinking, should it really be 11th or 12th or wherever it is in the dorm ratings? Now I agree it should be around that.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? Because it's not like the story is anything special in many respects, I don't think.
No.
But there's something about it, and I'll set out for you what I think these things are right here, right now.
Yeah.
Firstly, brilliant Tom Baker.
Yes.
There's some great dialogues in it. There's some great
Part 2.
cheeky cheeky one-liners in it.
Part 2 particularly,
Mhm.
he's got some cheeky,
Yeah.
great one-liners.
Some really great ones. The Vox robots.
Yeah.
Fantastic. A real image.
Memorable.
A really memorable image of 70s Doctor Who, isn't it? And when you talk about classic villains, you picture them. I mean, obviously, I grew up in that Tom Baker era, and I couldn't remember the story. And it's the first time I would have watched it since I was growing up. I didn't remember it, but I remembered the image.
Yeah.
So I obviously did watch it back then, and the image stuck with me.
I'm sure it was repeated a few times.
Probably was. I may even have watched it a couple of times back then, but I don't remember. So there's that. There's obviously Leela.
Yeah.
But that might be just a sort of me thing. But
I don't think everyone would say that, but
no.
I think lots of people like Leela.
You like Leela, don't you?
Yeah.
She's one of your favourite companions.
She's good.
Yeah.
Not the best, but one of. She's probably there. She's there in the top 10.
Yeah. That's number 1, of course, obviously. So yeah, I mean that's the main things about it.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can't.
What do you think of Tom Baker?
I said he's the master, isn't he?
I know.
Well, he's not the master. He's the Doctor.
Not the master.
No.
A master.
A master. But he is the Doctor. Let's face it. And there's some classic moments in it. It's moments. One of the questions. Would I spoil it if I start talking about classic moments?
No, it's all right.
Okay. There's some classic moments.
There are.
So, firstly, the Jelly Baby sequence.
Would you like a jelly baby? Shut up!
Love that bit. Very funny. There's also the discussion.
It's the guy who said "Shut Up's" birthday today.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Shut Up, guy.
Yeah.
There's also the great moment in the TARDIS early on when the Doctor's trying to explain to Leela the whole issue of why the TARDIS is bigger on the inside than the outside.
Oh yeah, that's a class. I completely forgot about that bit.
Yeah.
I always completely forget about that bit.
Well, it's because we let you into a little secret here, listeners. Whilst we write show notes and things, generally, we don't really script this podcast at all, do we?
We didn't even write the show notes this week.
No.
We forgot.
So all we write down in the show notes, essentially, is the topics we'll be talking about. Aside from that, we just wing it.
And quiz or question when there's questions.
But we just wing it, don't we? We just talk about stuff, and hopefully you enjoy listening to it.
Hopefully.
What's your favourite? What's your favourite bits in the episode?
I think I'd say exactly the same.
Yeah.
I love that explaining bit at the beginning. It's a memorable moment. The Jelly Baby moment's one of the most memorable and best Jelly Baby moments.
Yeah. I think the reveal as well later on when you find out who's behind it was really good.
We don't want to tell you.
I think
it does become kind of obvious, even though Miss Deacle didn't even get out.
No, I must have missed a bit. Must have switched off for a second or two. But we like these stories anyway, don't we? Where various people gradually start getting bumped off.
Kill-offs.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was a couple of people that I thought were going to be the main one that weren't, but let's say we won't ruin it. But yeah, villains, they're up there, aren't they, with the best?
Yes, they are.
Some of the best villains.
Well, they're only in it once, but they're very iconic. Yeah.
I don't think you could ever bring them back, really, could you?
No.
Or could you? I mean, you could do one. I'll tell you what you could actually do. You could do one where one of these robots. No, I'm not going to say this because it probably come on who to. I
mean, they're exactly. Robots of Death is exactly the same as Voyage of the Damned, really.
Yeah. Well, story-wise.
Yeah.
Is it? Because I've not seen Voyage of the Damned.
Haven't you?
No. Okay. Have we got any more questions on it?
Should we go on to scorings?
Yeah. Okay.
So, villains, monsters.
10.
Yeah. Supportive cast.
I really like the supporting cast in this one. I think the pilot's a little bit annoying. The woman pilot. I've forgotten her name now.
Which one?
The main woman in it, really.
The black woman.
No.
The other woman.
Yeah.
Toos.
Toos, yeah. Yeah. I find her a little bit annoying.
I don't mind her.
No, I think it's only when she thinks she's going to get killed at one point and she's sort of like, "Aah!"
Yeah, but you'd be like that when you're going to get killed.
yeah, you're pretty right, yeah. Yeah, Decool, I hated him in it.
Yeah.
He was a big girl.
What do you give them then?
Overall, I'm going to give them. I'll give them an 8. I think.
Okay.
He's up 10, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you call? Excitement.
10.
Okay. Pace.
10.
38 out of 40. That's the highest so far, probably. Apart from Genesis.
Yeah.
But we didn't score it in that way before.
No.
It was probably. Is it a 10 for you, or is it a 9?
It's probably a 9.
High 9.
High 9, yeah. I mean, it's not as good as it's not as strong as Genesis.
No.
To be fair. It's probably not as strong as Talons of Wang Chiang.
It isn't. No.
But it's up there. But it's that era of Who, as we discussed in Doctor Decades, 2 decades last week. It's just got some fantastic stories.
It has. Very fantastic. Fantastic.
Would you agree with my thoughts?
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Definitely, folks.
Tune
Want to
into
dig out and watch.
Get
if you
it.
haven't seen it, watch it. Really, really
See
good.
it.
Yeah.
But now it's time to see what story we will be discussing next week / maybe over the next couple of weeks.
Ooh. So it must be the time for pressing the magic randomizer. So for those people that haven't been on listened to the show before, firstly, why not? Secondly, we have a little section here called the randomizer where we've got every Who episode ever in a spreadsheet, little macro built into it. When Lewis presses the magic macro button, it wings up a random episode, which we will then review, or you'll watch and then review either next week or the subsequent week if it's a long one.
Yes.
So, without further ado, do you want to press the magic randomizer? Let's hope it works.
See
because we've plugged it into a different machine. So, it goes.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh,
Okay,
yes.
so do you want to announce what it was that came up?
Wait
I
a sec.
can't remember this one, so
It's another
it's
classic.
another Tom Baker, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's another classic, another well-known episode, Ark in Space.
Okay, can you just set the scene to remind me? So
Sarah Jane.
Sarah Jane. So is it the first
Tom Baker
first series of
Yeah.
Tom Baker? Yeah.
and Harry.
Okay.
It's got the Wern, those
Mhm.
creatures. It's set on Nerva base.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's a very good story actually. Probably not as good as Robots of Death, but it's still a really good one.
Brilliant. So
So-
it's four-parter, yeah? So
Yeah.
we'll be reviewing that this time.
We will be
next
reviewing
week.
that this time next week.
Fantastic.
So yeah,
Okay. So does that bring us on to the final section of the show?
Who to face? Do, 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 do.
Who to face? So similar concept to the randomizer here, in that we have another little funky spreadsheet which has got all the Doctors recorded in it.
Yep.
It's got a large number of villains.
100 or something
Yeah.
like that.
We press a little button, it randomly picks a Doctor, it randomly picks a villain, and off the top of our heads, we both will have a go, taking it in turns, of coming up with a story that Big Finish may want to adopt, possibly.
Yes. Like a
So,
child.
so do we want to press that magic Who to Face button?
You're going first this
I
time.
hate it when I go first.
Well, we all have to go first at some point
Yeah,
in
but-
our lives.
Because I always get that embarrassment first of all that I don't know as much about Who as you do, so I often don't know who these villains are. But
Probably.
let's see what comes up.
Astrology.
So we'll see what comes up. You might need to explain to me who they are and stuff. But
Rubbish at explaining things. The void.
so 10th Doctor. So that's David Tennant, Vervoid. Who what on earth are the
from the
Vervoids?
Terror of the Vervoids.
What are they?
Terror of the Vervoids is a similar story to it's a kill-off story. It's similar to Robots of Death, only that it's got Mel as the companion,
What do Vervoids look like?
and they're those vegetable things.
Hmm.
Could I look it up in the
Yeah, look it
background?
up because I need to see a picture of them and then I can visualise it and start to Who to Face it. I know the name. I can't. For the life of me, I can't think what on earth they are. Oh, they are vegetable-like things, aren't they?
Can you remember them?
Yeah, I can't remember seeing them in anything.
You haven't seen them in
No.
anything.
I quite like them. They're quite cool, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. So 10th Doctor. So it's David Tennant one. I'm going to go for one with annoying Donna in it.
Bad choice.
And this one is called Return of the Vervoids.
Okay.
Well, that sounds more like a classic episode, doesn't it? Rather than a David Tennant one. So maybe I won't call it that. Maybe I'm instead going to call it. I'm going to call it Planet of Green.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, the 10th Doctor and Donna crash land the TARDIS onto this green planet.
Yeah.
And the TARDIS basically, they think initially, I'm thinking this up as I go along here, they think initially they've landed on this planet, whereas actually they've been eaten by a large man-eating plant.
Cool.
Thing. Yeah.
Big man-eating plant thing.
A big man-eating plant thing. And they're actually stuck inside it. And this plant is being looked after by the Vervoids.
Cool.
And basically what they've got to do is release themselves. And they've only got a certain amount of time to release themselves from this before they are eaten and digested.
Is it like a giant Venus fly trap
thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
And they need to get out before they're fully digested. And basically the first half of it will be them based inside this plant, battling against things like the internal organs of the plant and stuff.
Yeah.
And eventually they will release themselves from it. They get out and then they're faced with the Vervoids.
Okay. And
at that stage, it's a little bit run-of-the-mill.
Okay.
They get captured by the Vervoids. Donna does a few annoying things. The 10th Doctor does a few annoying things. A lot of it's based on
they kiss.
A banter amongst the two of them as they sort of do jolly we're matey type things.
They're kissing and then Martha walks in.
There's
no!
There's no kissing involved in this episode.
Oh, good. Because knew who there normally is.
Yeah, but the frustrating thing for the Doctor is that when they're imprisoned, his sonic screwdriver doesn't work on the vegetation, so he eventually relies on. Well, what happens is that the Vervoids come in, they take Donna, and the Doctor thinks that they've killed Donna, so he's quite upset about that. And he insists that he's taken in front of the Vervoid leader as well.
Mm.
And he finds that they haven't. But what they're doing is they're actually trying to turn Donna into plant food.
Cool.
Yeah. And basically, one way or the other, and I haven't decided how yet, the Doctor manages to release Donna and they escape from the planet. The plant turns on the Vervoids and ends up eating all of the Vervoids, and they escape through the TARDIS.
Cool.
And that's it.
Okay.
There.
Cool.
Phew.
Thanks.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dear me, that was hard work.
Cool.
What we got there?
Yeah.
There we are. I've got my called it now. The Planet of Green, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the it's two-parter, this one. So there's two different names. So Killers of the Dead and the Plant Leader. This one's called.
Okay.
Because it's two-parter.
Okay.
So the Doctor and Martha arrive on a space diner where there's where they find out that the flowers have eaten 2/3 of the guests.
Ooh, cool.
And the Doctor thinks it's going to be too dangerous because he thinks Martha's going to be eaten. So he locks Martha in the TARDIS. So Martha whilst the Doctor is trying to figure out all of this, Martha's trying to figure out a plan to get the Doctor to love him and kiss her. Love her and kiss her and everything. Because she loves him secretly. No, but that's not the main story. Elsewhere, the Doctor is outside and he discovers the crew are being eaten. The crew of the space diner who have ventured onto the expedition, ventured on there as an expedition, have been eaten up one by one, and are being eaten up one by one. And the Doctor later finds out that the Vervoids are behind this.
Cool.
But they find out the technology has been given to them by the Master.
The Master's in it. Is he actually in it, or is he just hinted at?
No, he's in it. But the shocking thing is, it's a David Tennant one. And but the thing is, earlier on in the TARDIS, Martha saw a Vervoid. It took her to the Master, and then in the cliffhanger of part 1, turns out that Martha has become the Master.
Ooh.
But yeah, and he is, the plant leader is the second title.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's called. She is the Vervoid leader, the plant leader.
Ah, cool. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Excellent. I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. That's far better thought out than mine. But you'd expect that a little bit, I guess.
Because I came last.
Because you came second.
Yeah.
Cracking stuff.
Yeah, cracking stuff.
So actually, it makes me want to watch them with the Vervoids. Then, what are they like in the episode?
I can't really remember it. Really.
It's a Sylvester McCoy one, is it?
No.
No.
Trial of a Time Lord.
Trial of Time Lord. Okay. Right. Yeah.
Part 3.
Okay.
Volume 3. Whatever.
Okay. Sounds good. Brilliant. So that's Who to Face this week.
That's the show this week.
That's the show this week. So what do we have in store for next week?
Thanks, guys, for listening.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, we are going to be joining up 2 periods, which are the Wilderness Years and the 2000s. Not 2010s, 2000s.
Excellent. We'll also be giving our review of Ark in Space.
We will be doing another round of quiz or question.
And we will be sharing some news and views from the Who-niverse.
And we will be pressing the magic randomizer button.
Ah, yes, we will.
So that will be on episode 144 of the podcast next Saturday from 4 p.m.
Probably just worth, before we disappear off into hyperspace, worth mentioning that there should be a Behind the Sofa going live later tonight.
Yes, there should be.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, yeah. So, thanks, guys. Sorry for the lack of videos on the YouTube account, but yeah.
We don't only sit here for you,
Yeah.
We have got other things we have to do.
We have many things. So, thank you for watching. Lewis Mean signing off.
D Cool signing off.
And goodbye.